Hello, I'm Regina McCann-Hess, President of Forge Wealth Management, and welcome to our Women in Wealth series. Today, we're going to talk about retiring to a different state, and I have a lot of conversations regarding retiring to different states or partially living in one state during the warm months and another state during the cold months. Now, moving always requires serious consideration, no matter what your stage of life. If you're thinking about moving to another US state when you retire, here are a few helpful tips for making sure you know and cover the social, medical, financial, and legal issues involved before you pack your bags. So, practical matters before you move. You want to consider a few of the following steps. Obviously, you want to contact a local realtor to list your property if you currently own your home. Selling the family home may take considerable time and preparation. I mean, if you've been in that home for 10, 15, 20 plus years, there's a lot of memories in that home and there's a lot of stuff. So you are going to have to do some pre-cleaning and pre-packing, going through things. I know when I moved myself years ago, and this is when the kids were small, we packed multiple times because you go through things and you discard stuff, and you get rid of stuff to move with you, and then when you move it, and you're unpacking, you're like going through things again. Do I really need this? It's a big step. If you do have adult children, they may want to be involved with packing and other aspects of the move. You also want to contact a moving company to get moving and packing estimates. You also want to decide how your pets are going to make the travel to the new home and make whatever arrangements are necessary there. Another key thing would be to know the layout of your new residence to help you decide what to take with you and what will or will not fit. You may want to list the items you're taking with you. Also, list the items you want to give away and to whom. You also want to list the items you want to store and how they should be dispersed later. The remaining items can be claimed by the kids, the grandkids, sold at a garage sale, taken to a donation center. But if you do drop off things at a donation center, you want to keep a list of the donated items for tax preparation purposes. And of course, you want to get your receipt when you drop your items off. There are plenty of free change of address cards from the post office that you can pick up. These you want to send to your accountant, your attorneys, your banks, your credit card companies, your doctors, friends, relatives, your financial advisors, the Social Security office. Now, the IRS, you actually want to send them a letter. You cannot send them the post office postcard. They will not accept that. So sending them a letter indicating a change of address. Also, you want to send a letter to your bank to have your funds transferred if you're transferring bank accounts. Also, close your safety deposit box and take all that stuff out of there. And you also may want to order checks ahead of time with your new address printed on them if you are still of the age that use physical checks. You may want them before you move, so you will be able to write some checks as soon as you arrive. And also arrange to have your phone or utilities turned off at your old home and turned on at your new home. One other thing is that you may want to check to see if a new driving test is needed in your new state or if it's just a paperwork process. There's also social considerations. Now, you may be leaving friends and relatives behind when you move. There's also steps that you can take to maintain these ties. Talking with your friends and relatives about how you're going to keep up with them after you move. Some retirees who move away set up an annual reunion in their old or their new home, or start a round robin letter to circulate amongst friends. Trading email addresses with everyone before you leave, then kind of make it a habit to stay connected. Also, Zoom meetings. People are doing that a lot with the pandemic, and even after the pandemic, there's still a family connections through Zoom, so that kind of works. You also want to check and see if there's a local chapter in your new area for service clubs or organizations that you belong to. The next thing we look at is medical issues. You want to check with your health insurer to make sure you can retain your current benefits in the states you're considering. Once you've decided where to go and are preparing to move, you want to remember to take these steps. You want a written request of your medical history from your physician and your dentist. You want to keep a list of phone numbers and addresses for your current doctors, dentists, and pharmacists in case you need to contact them from your new home. And you also want to have your pharmacy prepare a list of your prescriptions with any noted side effects. Another good thing would be to arrange an ample supply of medications to cover your first few months after the relocation so you have time to get set back up. Some financial considerations. Here are some things you want to do before the move. You want to check with your accountant to determine the tax consequence of your move, the sale of your home, and any other financial changes that may occur, including what the state tax is where you're moving to. You want to ask your insurance company what kind of rates to expect in the communities that you're considering moving to. Home and car insurance rates may vary widely depending on local conditions. So that's why we suggest that. You also want to check for differences in financial benefits in the states you're thinking of moving to, particularly if you receive Medicaid or assistance from a state funded program. We also want to consider legal issues. Legal documents and arrangements can vary state to state. If you've made any of the following legal arrangements, just be sure to check with your attorney on whether they'll need to be modified for the new state. And that would include representative payee, power of attorney, durable power of attorney, guardianship, living will, medical power of attorney, healthcare power of attorney, life estate, and trusts. You may also want to start working with an attorney in your new state before you actually move there. Now let's talk about your important documents. It's really important that someone knows where to find your important financial and legal documents in case of emergency. So before you move, you want to create a contact and a financial information worksheet. Use that to consolidate and record your most vital information, which would include your contact information, your emergency contacts and neighbors, your employer address and telephone if you're still working, insurance policies, doctors, clinics, health centers, pharmacies and medications, your legal, financial, and estate contacts, your retirement and other investments, property details, and also any military benefits that you may have. Once you complete the worksheet, put the original in a safe spot and then give a copy to a trusted relative, friend, or caregiver, and let a family member know your emergency contact and where to find them if this document is needed. Let's review a few key points. Again, we're talking about possibly moving out of state when you retire. Starting out fresh can be great, especially when you plan in advance. You want to take stock of your current situation, determine how you want to spend your life in retirement and how you'll fund it. You also want to make sure and cover all the social, medical, financial, and legal issues involved. And you want to try and minimize your taxes and housing expenses to help stretch your fixed income. Our call to action today is while you are preparing for your move, you definitely want to create your documents, determining where everything is and who your contacts are for all of your different accounts and your legal documents and whatnot. And you want to plan this ahead of time. You don't want to do it as you're moving. You want to do this months before you move so that it is a little bit smoother sailing for the actual big move. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, I'm Regina McCann-Hess, president of Forge Wealth Management. Our website is forgewealth.com, and you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Forge Wealth. On LinkedIn, Regina McCann-Hess.